السيد الرئيس، الحضور الكريم، ساعات متواصلة منذ الصباح وحتى الآن من العمل الدؤوب، من تبادل الرؤى والأفكار
exert effort and exchanging visions and ideas of different segmentations of the young people on different issues such as education, economic reform, overpopulations, and the infringement of the agricultural land and others. To conclude, the only means of confronting such challenges is the search for the good potentials of the Egyptian young people. When we discover and investment in the constructions would be transformed to enlightened models and before the whole world. Innovate and kick off. It's a message of an effective participation in building the nations. One of the most important means that represent the ideal and the model and the reason the potentials of the young people to be enabled to serve in the nations, yet the state was very keen to acknowledge and cast in the light of such models. History is not just a past. A future is another history. What we are doing now is a history for tomorrow. Therefore, who decided to lift a fingerprint, therefore an acknowledgement for the good models of the young people because of their efforts, and for those who want to have a better and beautiful Egypt, for those who want to build and develop it, and those who think and or are busy or occupied thinking about it, and for those who are dreaming of a good future, in a better future. The young people of Egypt are the hope of Egypt. With you, Egypt is growing and developing. Now we call up His Excellency Mr. President Abdel Fattah Sisi to acknowledge one of the, or rather some, honorable and symbols of the young people that Egypt is totally proud of. Ms. Mayada Mahmoud Abdul Rahim, holding the first rank on the world of the international competitions of reciting and memorizing the Holy Quran in full. The athlete Omar Samra, the first Egyptian to lift the Everest top, or the Everest summit, and the seventh summit to within the North and South tropic. An artist, Shireen, the coordinator of Halloween initiative that is aiming to beautify streets and squares. Randa Ibrashi, the founder of Alashani Kibaladi Society of Cairo. Engineer Hussein Adil Fahmi, a consultant of business administration and IT of IBM company in Vienna, that is won the best consultant of IBM in 2015 and 2016. Media personnel Ahmed Faid, presenter of Egypt Can, is an honorable ideal and model that regain the idea of using the Egyptian expats. Major Ahmed was injured through his field operation in confronting a terrorist group. Artist Amr Mustafa, as an acknowledgement for his works that was devoted to the national songs. First Lieutenant Ahmed Abdelatif, an officer of the Egyptian Shock Force, was injured in confrontation of terrorists in Sinai. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most passionate, I would like to thank you all. And it is a great honor to be acknowledged by His Excellency, Mr. President, which is the second time I was honored in 2012. Won the World Championship in China, and you told me to complete and continue, and I was injured when I entered and enlisted the Shock Force in the armed forces. So I was frustrated when I got injured, but through the first visit of the Supreme Command, he asked everyone to leave the hall. You would continue to be the world championship, and promised me and asked me to promise me. And I said I made about 12 surgeries in the hospital. After I finished, I was taking practices to represent the Egypt in the World Championship in Sweden, and I won the Japan and the USA champions. And it was the first time to achieve or to make such an achievement. Excuse me, a message to convey for those who are here just about Sinai. It's not only me to get injured. They don't know the story of just losing a friend of mine. This is just a story that you heard about, and it's not just like on reality. With less efforts of us, we found casualties. We do not say that we stopped. We send a message and convey a message for the terrorism group that we are injured. And each one of my colleagues used to kill one of such members. They used to take photos for them and send the message to me, named under the name that I took the revenge. I'd like to thank His Excellency, Mr. President Abdel Fattah Sisi, for such an acknowledgement, and I thank him for just promotion of having a first urgent. The speech of His Excellency, Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the President of the Republic. You'll have the floor, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most passionate. Ladies and gentlemen, who are gathering in such a very beautiful gathering, my young people, allow me at the outset for such a kind gathering that include a galaxy of the state symbols and young people from different Egyptian segmentations. I would like to ask you to stand all together for an appreciation and solution for the Egyptian people that proved without any doubt that they are very genius and very determined to confront a challenge. Allow me to salute the Egyptian people. Allow me to say to you that such a solution was just a must. Please be seated, please. Solutions I requested from you, and I hope that to be delivered for each Egyptian citizen, because I'm totally appreciating what happened the last months and the period before. We've already talking about 30 months that witnessed attempts for not to continue as a state and as well as you as Egyptians. This word from the bottom of my heart, allow me to say to you, in the name of Egypt, Egypt is thanking you that you reserved its dignity and it's proud, because what you've done through the last period that Egypt is to maintain its proud and not to be on the headlines that it is and Egypt is just losing its presence. Thank you very much. Although difficult times, the Egyptian people is the people of proud and dignity without a superiority, and is very humbled. And I pray to the Almighty God not to resort, but to you, Almighty God. Ladies and gentlemen, I talk to you that you are representing different segmentations of the Egyptian societies and representative of its different institution that at the end of a very distinctive day, we've discussed and listened to each other's exchange the visions with total transparency in the framework of nationalism in order just to raise our main goal of the Egypt, that we were united to work, and the young people were in the heart full of modernizations and purifications. I say no secrets to announce that I be very pleased amongst the young men and girls of the Egyptian youth. They help of the country to listen to them and write my notes of their recommendations. And I would like to assure you that we've already gained a very important achievement, which is such a gathering, fruit, or the first fruits of the last October Yes Conference held in Sharm el-Sheikh. Such a formula was a success of the Egyptian state that we wish and seek, fully determined to lift up the performance of its administration in a very modernized framework. Ladies and gentlemen, the very enthusiastic young people, it is well known for all of us the challenges that the nation is facing on the economic and social and political arenas. We are facing terrorism group that is linked to, in ideology and financially for foreign power that is seeking chaos in the region by supporting it or supporting the terrorism and criminal groups in the neighboring countries that are suffering the disturbance. And seeking, or rather, we are facing a corruption that is trying to put obstacles before all the efforts of development that we are seeking through an organized strategy to eradicate its reasons by the efforts of the monitoring and control entities, by using the modern technology and developing the legal and legislative systems. And also we are facing huge and economic challenges that it has resulted and were accumulated through decades that led to the increase of the public debt and the decrease of the national production, as well as the shrinking of the agricultural and industrial production and the setback of the tourism industry that forced us to have only one consideration, which is the public interest and the future of the nation. Based on what we've said, we've already taken a package of economic measurement in the process of economic reform that seek the incentives of investment atmosphere and modernizing the infrastructures to be a regional center that would its impact reflect positively before the citizens and the services. The promise was the transparency and honesty. And I say frankly that measures being taken that abide all the officers and a kind of encouraged to take, in particular, within the presence of a negative impact on the citizens. I say frankly that the sufferings of the Egyptians cannot be ignored. Therefore, my directions were to the government to take the social measurements in parallel with the economic reform measurements that would guarantee to ease the burden of the vulnerable households and facing the measures and the risks of the poor and middle classes. Hence, I say to the Egyptian people to appreciate what I talk because of a goal that I exert all the effort of having a very great country, and I never gain for having a popularity or appreciation. So, as my first concern to invade our accumulated problems based on our consciousness, and I believe in you, which is, I fully believe that you will be up to the level of responsibility of awareing the dangers of the nations and the problems that our nation is facing. Ladies and gentlemen, the line of the Egyptian policy was very clear before the whole world. Since I take to the office, before the whole world, countries in general and in particular the neighboring countries, based on the respect, the interests of the two nations and the non-interference of the internal affairs to any country, no matter what. Such a governing tools were the secret of our success in the foreign policy that gained Egypt's stance and presence regionally and internationally, that made its voice well heard throughout the whole world. Then I would like to assure everyone inside and this hall that Egypt is a very independent country that achieving its well from the well of its free people and believing that its dreams will only be made by the hands of its sons, and Egypt would last. The new Egypt is an independent country that is achieving its political well, coming out from the free Egyptian people and believing that its dreams will be only made by the hands of Egyptian people, and would continue its policy before its brotherly countries in a framework of mutual strategy and mutual respect. Also, I hope just to be fully aware of what I say. I hope you to be fully aware of what I say. I told you before that our policy are made on values and principles that are very rare to find. Egypt is also seeking and helping to enhance its relationships with different international powers, such as the United States of America, Russia and China, and the exchange of trade and attracting investment in different countries throughout the world. My young people, boys and girls, I say to you straightforward that you are on top of our concern of the Egyptian state. You are the hope of making the present and the icon of the future, what is coming, and made on the Egyptian soil land of achievement is for you and for the future to come. And it is just like a rewriting of a history of Egypt. The expansion of your participation in the public work is a duty for us, and providing the proper atmosphere is a duty that is required by the Egyptian demography that made Egypt as a very young nation. I'm fully aware, and I believe that you are forming the vision of the future that made me to prioritize the issue of the youth on top priority of the cabinet, on top of which the issues of education, health and unemployment, as well as the political participation and changing or renewing the political and relation disclosure. And I would like to assure you to invade or to tackle strongly such issues and working on proper formulas that goes in line with your aspirations and dreams. Our work is witnessing the communication between the state and the youth in an effective way. And the credibility that was made by the escalations of achieving or implementing the recommendations of Sharm el-Sheikh Youth Conference. I personally followed all the issued recommendations of such a conference that made me to use my constitutional authority of issuing an amnesty of a second, or rather the first group of the young people, followed by another list. I've already made by the formed committee of examining the cases of the detained people, and the presidency have already received or hosted several meetings between the young political people to eradicate the illiteracy, that formed a working group to activate such an initiative in the framework of searching the law of 107 and the article of 113 that is related to the General Assembly. And I already reviewed the proposals of the National Center of Human Rights and the political parties and the use of the House of Representatives. I've already directed government to speed the modifications of such a law within 12 or 15 days. Do you want me to just say that you are liking the demonstration law? A working group of the presidency by a number of scholars to search all the international experiment in training and the youth in establishing a national identity to be like an entity of including different young people in the state policy. We are in on the process of distributing such trained young people and to be working in different sectors of the state. I've already told you that a part of them will be in place in the presidency, the cabinet, and along with the governors, as well as the House of Representatives. The idea is based on just prepare and have young people are vested to take a real responsibility, that we are preparing around 200 young people will be vested and prepared within 6 months and a year, that we can select among them ministers and governors. The training of following take it to be a base of young cadres that are capable of leadership. My great young people, I call you of more work and an exerting work in exert or making the hobby work a way of points or zones of disagreements and conflicts. Change your enthusiasm of an added value of what has been made by our grandfathers for us, and to work for the sakeness of our nation, that to make Egypt is the goal. It's proud and pride is the goal and the main goal, the ultimate goal. I'm fully confident of your enthusiasm and your purifications, and by the strength of the young people. Long Egypt, long live Egypt, long live Egypt. Thank you. Mr. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the national anthem for the Arab Republic of Egypt.